Lifetime.
Live.
Doing it
It's
live.
a Lifetime movie.
Oh, yeah.
Who is there? Is
In
it
the chat room
anybody like
today.
Arma, Tamahome, or Mark?
Is there any way to see who's here?
Yes, there is, by putting your name. And then chatting.
No, there's no, list
No,
of
there
people's
isn't,
names.
sadly. I
Which
wish
is
there was.
weird. But
All right, I'm going to start
hopeful-
recording the backup.
Thank you.
Hi, it's the backup.
I like how even though, like I had the crappy audio because of the Riverside mess up last week, I'm not recording a backup for myself. I'm just like, whatever. I'll just have the crappy sounding backup. I could easily, record a backup.
But you're not.
I'm choosing not to.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
going in
just
with
the way
eyes
you
wide
roll.
open. Yeah. All right. It's like a dark room of stranger. Tamahome, you said that in Discord as well.
Yeah. Tamahome is
Yeah.
really taken with that description.
Yeah. What is that? Is that from something?
I'm sure it's
like
from something.
It's like a roomly
If
stranger.
Not, if only Tamahome's brain.
I see. All right. Well, I'm just looking over the show notes.
No
Wow, it's
yawning.
It's a mock-tacular tonight. All right. Cool. Okay. I think we're ready to go. I have no drinking.
Should we just skip it? I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
Either. All right.
All right. I do want to talk about your Shai Hulud bookends, which I can see in the background. Yeah.
This one's
Yeah.
a good one.
Big boy. All right, we'll save it for the pod. All right, you ready? And this is for sync. And 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Sorry,
And then
Ray.
I will. Oh, how's Ray?
She's not good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She has her oncologist appointment tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to eat.
Oh,
She's not feeling good.
pobre puppy.
She still got up when I clapped to come over and get reassuring pets. So
Well, I'm glad that we
That's a
scared
good
her
sign.
in her. Yeah, great.
at least she's
I
not
feel
lethargic.
I feel extra good about that now.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It's good. It's good. It proves that she doesn't need to be rushed to the emergency.
Okay. Well, maybe I should have ended the show on that instead of started the show on
that's
that,
okay.
but okay. Yeah. We'll have a quiet
It was good news, though.
podcast.
The clap got her going.
Good. All right. All right. You ready?
Go lay down. Okay. Yep.
Okay. And 3, 2. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Sword and Laser. I'm Veronica Belmont.
And I'm Tom Merritt.
Sword and Laser is a book club, but it's so much more. We bring you author interviews, news from the world of science fiction and fantasy, and, of course, awesome discussions from fans just like you.
I mean, almost like a clone of you. They're so much like you.
But they have mustaches.
Exactly. That's how you know they're from the other universe, right?
Is it possible we've made this joke before?
I think probably more than once.
After 13 years.
But
I feel
slight
like.
variations every time because we are also from other universes.
Yeah, someone on Twitter, I think, called our podcast amusing. And
Yeah?
for some reason, the word amusing, it felt... Hi, Brian. I think your name was Brian, if you're listening. I knew
Brian.
it was meant positively, but for some reason, amusing felt kind of like, it's amusing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good.
It's not good. It's amusing.
We know you didn't mean that, Brian. Unless you did.
Yeah, unless you did, but either way. But I appreciate you recommending the show to other
Thank
people
you.
on
Yeah.
Twitter. Always extremely well
Do
appreciated.
we amuse you? Are we a joke to you?
I hope we're a joke to somebody. I think we all need
Yeah.
a little extra laughter in our
That's
day.
true. That's true.
You know?
That's a very good point.
Good for us. Bully for us. So Tom, I wanted to cover one thing before we get started, and that is your giant worm.
Oh, yes. I have a parasite, everyone, but I'm being treated for it. No, long-time listeners, maybe like a month or so ago,
that was longer ago than that.
We covered the was it like last year?
It was because it was before Dune came out.
Yeah, that's true. It was. But we covered the Dune bookends that were being made available by Dark Horse, and you may have noticed me sort of maybe admit that I had ordered them while we were doing the show, and they arrived a week ago. So they are sitting behind me in my podcast studio, the keeping books up because they are bookends. So you have the front end of the worm with the mouth on one end, and then you have your books in the middle, and then you have the little butt end on the other.
Yeah, I was cracking up because Tom.
They are huge.
Sending me a text message, and he's like, way bigger than I expected them to be. And it was. And if
you're in our Discord, I sent some pictures there. I tried to put something for scale. So you can
Are they very heavy? They must be pretty heavy.
They're pretty heavy. Yeah. They're solid because they're not hollow. They're not made of plastic. These are ceramic. So
that's kind of like the whole point. I mean, for bookends, you need them to be weighty so they can actually
you
keep
want
things
them to be weighty and they're quality, man. They're good. It's good stuff.
Nice. Well, congratulations. I feel like that was a lot. We had all forgotten that was a thing that was going to happen. And we got to see the conclusion.
Because the shipping kind of was unknown. And then I got a Dark Horse direct email, but it didn't say what it was. It just said, your thing has shipped, which I hate. Amazon does that too. We're like, your thing has shipped. I'm like, I don't know what thing. But that was the thing.
Yeah, I get something like that. Like there's some delivery that I get semi-regularly. I can't remember if it's like my prescriptions or something. Like I just get like a shipment notification, but it doesn't tell me what it is. And I'm always like, ooh, surprises. And then I'm like, oh, disappointing.
Oh, contact lens solution.
Yeah,
right.
So not as fun.
Yes, right. Tamahome, they do smell like spice.
Do they really?
I mean, if you want them to, they do.
All right. Well, you can make them smell that way. So that's nice.
If you believe, then they do.
All right. Well, let's jump into the quick burns.
Mark points out that the Hugo 2022 finalists that have been announced, more than one person was like, did we just have the Hugos? But
I know.
Remember the Hugos last year were delayed. And they're trying to get back on a regular schedule. So, yes, it is very quick after the announcement of the last Hugos. But 2 finalists are Sword and Laser picks. Here are the finalists, if you haven't heard them already. I bet most of you have, but just if you haven't. A Desolation Called Peace by Arcady Martin. The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. Light from Uncommon Stars by Rika Aoki. Master of Djinn by P. Jelly Clark. Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, and She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan.
Nice. That's the only one I don't know, actually. So I feel like I should check that one out because I feel like it's, obviously got some good buzz, and I just haven't.
4 previous reads, 2 actual books that we've read, and then 2 other authors who we've read books from them.
Yes, and Desolation Called Peace is the sequel to a book that we did read. Oh, so
only Shelley Parker Chan we haven't read. You're right. I forgot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 5 authors that we've read.
Yes. So
I can
very cool.
count.
It's all right. It's hard. We all have a hard time remembering all the things that we've read and all the authors we've done in the past. 2. So very, very cool. Congratulations to all the nominees. Can't wait to see who the winner's going to be.
Cool.
Mark also says that Joel Edgerton Joel Edgerton is going to star in a series adaptation of Blake Crouch's Dark Matter over on Apple. Mark goes on to say that I haven't read Dark Matter yet, but the book and the TV show look interesting.
There's too much television because I should be very excited about this. And yet I'm like, oh gosh, one more thing that I must add to my list.
Yeah. He will be, this actor is going to be next seen on the Disney Plus Star Wars series Obi-Wan Kenobi, reprising the role of Owen Lars. He's also been in the Underground Railroad on Amazon. He's been in The Gift, The Great Gatsby. Let's see. He's also done a lot of directing. So pretty cool.
Very,
I'm going to check out
good.
the book, too. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the book. I haven't read it.
And if you're like Tom, that's not enough television for you to say there's too much television. How about this? Emily St. John Mandel and HBO Max are in the news. Station 11's Emily St. John Mandela and Patrick Somerville are teaming up for The Glass Hotel and Sea of Tranquility series adaptations for HBO Max. Sea of Tranquility, as Mark points out, is science fiction. The other one is just mainstream, not just, but is mainstream fiction, not genre fiction.
Okay. Very cool. Nice. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we don't know too much about these yet. I'm curious to see if they're also going to be like limited series
shows.
It's too many shows.
Can't watch.
What are you watching? How many shows? What shows do you feel like you're missing right now?
I'm behind on Atlanta.
Okay.
The Flight Attendant's coming back.
Don't know that one. Okay.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's about to start. Haven't started the second season of Bridgerton yet. Dairy Girls is coming back. Behind on Outlander. Behind on Upload. Yep. Behind on Killing Eve.
Upload came back?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it good?
Just finished Better Call Saul returned. Upload. We're 3 episodes into Upload, and I'm enjoying it. But it's not like super compelling. Moon Knight.
Oh, I've heard. Is that good?
The new episode just came out. It's okay.
What's that on?
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah. We canceled Disney Plus, so I don't know if I'm going to be going back to any of those, but we'll see.
Strange New Worlds is coming. The new Star Trek. That's on May 5th.
Picard's been on.
I have kept up on Picard.
Yeah, me too.
And I've kept up on Winning Time.
I don't know that
HBO
one.
Max show about the Lakers.
Oh.
That's mostly because my wife's a huge Lakers fan. And she grew up watching that era that they're talking about.
Excellent. Yeah. I just found out yesterday that Better Call Saul was back with like a 2.5 hour series premiere.
1917 gave me the opportunity to point out that there's also, we're trying to catch up on Mr. Sunshine, a K-drama. I'm trying to finish Law School. We are watching Our Blues, but we're one behind on that. And thankfully, we finished Forecasting Love and Weather and 2521. Eileen finished Business Proposal and then recommended that I start watching it. So I've started that, but I've got to keep going on it. Those are all K-dramas.
How do you find time to... Oh, you read when you're doing chores, don't you?
And
walk the dogs
Yep.
and work out. Yeah. That's like, how do you have so much time to both read and watch TV?
Yeah.
Like, I can't. All right. Well, we have what did we ever figure out? A four pack of a thing is a quadrilogy, quadrilogy, a quadtet,
trilogy, quaternity. Feels like an
quartet,
eternity.
a quartet. Tamahome
Quartet.
says.
I like
okay,
a
cool.
quartet.
A tetralogy. Isn't that 5? Wouldn't a tetralogy be 5? I don't know.
Petrology
anyway,
would be.
This is the 4th post from Mark. If it is in fact the 4th
good job,
post.
Mark. Yeah, well
good
done.
Job,
Mark was the
Thank
guy.
You.
Feels like a different person's kind of stepping up. Sometimes it's Jan, sometimes it's Mark. That's cool. I like it.
Well, he says that new from Flying Dog Brewery in Maryland, 451 Juicy IPA, a medium-bodied imperial celebrating the human spirit's innate thirst for knowledge, ideas, growth, and freedom. The name and artwork on the bottle refer to Fahrenheit 451, the 1953 dystopian novel about censorship by Ray Bradbury. Flying Dog 451 Juicy IPA reminds us that banning books sucks.
And yet, this beer has now been banned by several breweries.
No, it hasn't.
No, not really. I hope not.
Yeah.
Martin pointed out that Guy Gavriel Kay has a new book due May 17th called All the Seas of the World. Martin wrote, this author seems to run hot and cold with the sword and laser crowd. I think you could say that about every author, though.
Yeah, seriously.
But anyway... the Fionovar tapestry is one of Martin's favorite series and surely ripe material for a TV show, so Martin always checks him out. And we have read Guy Gavriel Kay before, so yeah, go check it out.
Did we read Tagana?
Yes, that was the one we read.
Hold up, Tom, because we read that book and we talked about it, and never once did I hear you call him Guy, which I know is like
Guy?
the proper...
He's Guy.
We've always said Guy.
Yes, I think he does go by Guy, even though he's Canadian.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm not losing my mind. I was like, all right. maybe in a separate world, in a separate, universe, we had
Guy
said it that way.
Lafleur and Guy Gabriel Kay.
I know there was a hockey player called Guy Belmont. Guy Belmont.
Guy Belmont.
Guy Belmont. So I always, Guy. Anyway, Jackie says the Ignite Awards Committee is thrilled to announce the finalists for the 2022 Ignite Awards, and the awards seek to celebrate the vibrancy and diversity of the current and future landscape of science fiction, fantasy, and horror by recognizing incredible feats in storytelling and outstanding efforts towards inclusivity within the genre. The committee is made up of a FIACON staff and previous award winners of varying genders, sexualities, cultures, disabilities, and locations throughout the world. The whole list is worth pursuing, but of specific interest to SNL, the Best Novel Adult category has both Light from Uncommon Stars and a Master of Djinn. And Cody notes, Darcy Little Badger also has a book in the YA category, A Snake Falls to Earth.
I love how we all sort of rally around the authors we've read before and cheer for them in the awards. And sometimes I feel a little weird because I'm like, well, just because we haven't read an author doesn't mean they're not great and deserving and everything. But it does feel like it's fun to have, like, made the best author win, but we've got a little more stake in the game for the ones we've read here on the show.
It's fun because they become part of the family in a way. It's like it feels that way to us. All right. Well, thank you to everyone who submitted stories for Quick Burns. You can do that, as always, over on Goodreads. Just look for the thread on Quick Burns, or over on Discord. We have an entire channel, or whatever they call them, over on Discord, dedicated to posting the news of the week.
Is what they call it.
There you go.
It's the community is the whole thing. It's a thread, I think.
I think it's a channel still.
Really?
Is it a channel? I don't know. I'm in Slackland all day, so I can't get my mind out of that space.
I see. Yeah, Discord's the same way.
Yeah. All right. Well, now it is time for Bear Your Sword, which is our feedback from the audience. Now, we had a very confusing discussion in the last episode over the April Fool's joke from Mary Robinette Kowal and Mark tweeting at it about us, and I could have sworn we talked about it on the show, and then we were like, oh my gosh, we're having a Mandela effect like right before our eyes, but it's a Mandela effect of 2, just me and Mark, which was weird. But I reached out to Mary Robinette on Twitter, and I was like, why would you toy with us like that? Like, this is something I really, really wanted. Like, why would you lie? And she was like, because I am an author and I tell lies for a living and for fun.
Yeah.
Like, okay, valid.
And she's good at it. That's why you fell for it.
Well, I fell for it because I wanted to believe it.
Exactly. That's the best lie. The best lie combines a little bit of truth and a little bit of desire. And
it's just plausible enough to be realistic. Like, I didn't even question it. So that was a good one. And I saw it after April 1st. So that was another reason. Like, my brain was already out of the,
is why you should never believe anything you read online.
I know. Or hear in a podcast, because apparently.
Well, I don't think we mentioned it on that was the whole Mandela effect.
There's the whole thing.
You were correcting it, and I was like, but did we say it? Because it only got posted April 1st. That was weird. That was the weirdest part.
Did you remember talking about it, or you didn't remember talking about it?
Yes. But we didn't.
So it's a Mandela effect of 3. So it was the 3 of us. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Or at least the 2 of us.
I mean, I didn't actually remember, but when you had it in the rundown that it was an April Fool's joke, I was like, oh, we got fooled, thinking like, oh, yeah, we totally talked about it. Then noticed that we couldn't have because of when it was posted.
Yeah. Anyway, bizarre.
Good.
Super funny.
Good work, Mary Robinette. You're the best.
Yep. The best
All
at
right,
lying.
Christos posted a thread. This is what a thread on Goodreads. You were talking about Discord. Discord's a channel. Goodreads is a thread, right?
No, you
I
said
got confused.
threads.
I thought you were talking about Goodreads.
No. Okay, yeah. Discord.
That explains. Okay.
I see what happened here.
Christos says, I know most people are tired of them, but I love pirate stories. Are most people tired of pirate stories?
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if that's true. Christos says, anyone recommend any good science fiction and fantasy pirate stories? Please, no young adult books. I can't stand them.
Ouch.
Well, at least you're honest.
All right.
I've already read the Gentleman Bastard series. That would have been my recommendation. On Stranger Tides and Peter Pan. Any others?
Well, Trike said, Glenn Stewart and Lindsay Barucher have a few books about space pirates. I think space pirates can kind of open things up a little bit for you. I bet there's a lot of space pirate stories. He goes on to say, I haven't read it, but it came up during the Alistair Reynolds discussion that his book Revenger features space pirates. The Ketty J books are a sort of fantasy Firefly, and they are tangentially about piracy, among other things. Retribution Falls is the first one. And On Stranger Tides was adapted into a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but most people think the book is better. Yeah, it sounds like Christos had already read On Stranger Tides.
So then Silvana suggested The Scar by China Miéville. Even though pirates aren't the main topic, there's a floating city made from pirated ships. Phillips couldn't praise enough Vox, a full action, and in a world where nobody can speak, every character uses sign language. Michael Crichton's Pirate Latitudes.
Yeah,
obviously,
Ian Rebel Geek also mentions Robin Hobb's Live Ship Trader trilogy has pirates in it, including Pirate POV in Ship of Magic. And I read those decades ago, so I didn't really remember about that
Mortal
one.
Engines? Would that count? It's not exactly the seas.
I think that counts. I think,
but there's pirates in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've also been watching Our Flag Means Death.
Oh, so good.
It's super good. Yeah. So that's a fun, if you want like goofy.
Who's your
goofy
favorite
fun.
character in Our Flag Means Death?
Probably, Jim.
And
Jim's friend, partner.
Mm-hmm. Friend, but maybe more.
Yeah, I think they're my favorite too. Right now,
Jim is without a doubt my favorite.
Jim is the best.
I'm right there with you.
I follow Jim, or the actor who plays Jim, on TikTok as well, and they're incredible. It's really
what's
great.
Their name?
You get a lot of. I can't remember their name either, and they have a really good. They do like
Vico.
some behind the scenes, like stories and stuff that I think are pretty cool. Good.
Vico
Ortiz.
Pirate.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. Pirate. I feel like there's probably a lot more pirate recommendations out there. So if you have pirate recommendations,
keep them coming.
Send them into Goodreads or drop us a line on Twitter and we'll let Christos know. And then finally, we had a thread from a while back, actually, but I wanted to bring it up because I thought it was interesting, from Brad, who said, what are some good DRM-free ebook stores that support the Kindle file format? With the unmitigated disaster that is the new Comixology update and it's folding into Amazon completely, I no longer want to give Amazon my money, so I'm looking for alternatives to everything that I would normally purchase on Amazon. But you still want it to work on Kindle. So you probably have a Kindle. You want to be able to use that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do, I send PDFs to myself for things that I get online to my Kindle email address.
But where do you get the books?
Yeah, like Tor, when Tor has free short stories and stuff like that, I save them as PDFs and send them to my Kindle. You
can buy from Baen Books, DRM-free. Anything that Baen publishes, obviously just Baen. Clyde suggested standardbooks.org and Gutenberg.org. Standard ebooks. You have to have the E in there. Standardebooks.org and Gutenberg.org. Those are all DRM free. And Standard ebooks apparently has Tor, Baen, Angry Robots, Smashwords, and Bookview Cafe.
Oh, neat. And Trike says bookshop.org and Scribd they carry DRM-free books as well. Not all of them are DRM-free, but you can. I
don't know if you can filter your search by DRM-free or not. That's a good question.
Yeah, you'd probably have to do it on like a book-by-book basis and then see if they were available to download as DRM-free. And then Aaron, further down, has a number of suggestions. He says, welcome to the no Amazon crowd. So he's got some suggestions there as well. So yeah, check it out if you're looking for some DRM-free things that you can send to your Kindle, read on your phone, or as Tamahome says in the chat, you can always convert it to Mobi as well if you got files that you want to.
Thanks for that. Keep that thread going too, because I think a lot of people want to take advantage of that.
Totally. All right, well, let's check in on our book of the month discussion. We are not wrapping up, right? Please say we're not wrapping up.
Should we?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. No, we are not wrapping up until next time. when we'll do a wrap-up and kickoff.
Yeah.
We're also not announcing the next book on this episode, but if you're a patron, you're going to get the book briefing as soon as I write it. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we are reading A Master of Djinn by P. Djeli Clark. And I just realized that I linked to one of the things in the show notes without actually putting the link there. So I'm going to do that real fast. But while I do, Tom...
While you do that,
Yeah.
I'll pass along Ruth's thread,
Excellent.
which got me a little nervous.
Me too. Me too.
Ruth titled it Cultural Appropriation.
I was like, oh no. Oh no.
And several things went through my head. One was like, people bandy this about too much. Second thing was like, if you understand the author, then it would be really hard to think this is cultural appropriation. However, I should never have doubted Ruth. Actually, I saw the title before I saw it was Ruth. If I had seen Ruth, I probably would have felt better already. But Ruth wrote, this is a book with a very cool setting in a steampunk alternate history Cairo, but it's not just set dressing. I think Clark is trying to do some cultural reappropriation here, claiming back the legacy of Egyptian culture from the British imperialism. In real life, there's been a lot of digs done in Egypt by British people, not just British people, but a lot of British people, resulting in many Egyptian artifacts ending up in the British Museum, and some people asking where exactly is the line between archaeology and grave robbing.
Totally.
In this book, we see the British have been thrown out of Egypt militarily, but still linger, trying to use the magic and culture for their own benefit. I think there are some very deliberate choices here, which occasionally made me feel a little uncomfortable as a British person who loved seeing the Egyptian stuff in the British Museum as a child. What do you all think?
Yeah, I actually loved that because it really is like there's a pivotal moment in the history of the earth, essentially, that is centered around Cairo, and that makes Cairo like a huge power, like to in the world, like to rival
and that's
Paris and New York.
That's not a spoiler, in case anybody's worried. Yeah,
right. And so, like, immediately we have this history divergence where, like, it was normal historical things happening in the world. And then something fantastical happens, and now it's an alternate history where magic and fantastical elements and beings exist. And so that's kind of cool because there's no like background. It's the same history up until that one point in time, and then it branches off. And so with that, you get to see like all these different ways that history plays out, like with like what's going to happen with World War I, what's going to happen with technology and art and culture and fashion, and of course things like this, like the imperialists are essentially run out of town because they are not as powerful now as the humans and the jinn and the other beings that live and support and are building up Cairo and the rest of Egypt. So it's super fascinating. But yeah, I 100% had the same like gut clench where I was like, oh, what did we do?
I think I like the way Clark handles it in many ways, because it is not trying to be heavy-handed or preachy while being unapologetic. And I think that just makes I don't even want to say lesson, but the point. It makes the point land so well. You have to keep in mind, and I think P. Djeli Clark really does a great job of honoring that history, that the imperialists up until 12 or 1300s were the Islamic caliphates. They conquered Spain. They colonized Spain. It was looking like it was going to go the other direction, and then historical winds changed. There's lots of explanations and reasons why that I'm not well enough informed on to try to summarize them accurately. But the Renaissance happens in Northern Europe and Southern Europe and Italy. The Islamic empires are pushed back, and it swings the other way. And then the English defeat the Spanish Armada, become the dominant power in Europe, push into Egypt, and so it's not a like, well, no one would have done this except the evil English. It was like, well, the English had all the power and they did this. Now Egypt is getting power.
Yep.
What are they going to do with it? It's
That's
not
exactly
like,
what Rick
oh,
notes,
and we're
yeah.
so pure. It's very much like there's good people and there's conniving people, and then there's just people in the middle in humanity. Like humanity is not different across the aisle, but yet power differentials and situations change the way history goes. And I love the way P. Jelly Clark treated that. It's like, man, what if Egypt had the power? I mean,
Yeah.
And yet it wasn't like a fantasy in the sense of like they would have done everything right. It was like, no, it just causes some different complications and causes some things to not work out the way they did otherwise. And Egypt becomes the power broker. I don't know. It's so intricate and well thought out and well done. So I hope none of that is considered spoilery, but I think that's
No, I don't think so.
That's one of the things I love about it.
Yeah, and then even Rick says basically exactly what you said in the thread, where that this book is absolutely inverting the power dynamic, and there's more to it too. Like Fatma's clothes being British in style are like a nod to an Egyptian who is super competent, a harbinger of new things. She's a woman in a very male-dominated organization and industry. And I think at one point they even say her clothes are exotic. And that's exactly how you would have been referred to if you were an English person wearing, clothes that came from Egypt. Like people in England would be saying your clothes were exotic. And now it's so like,
exotic.
Yeah. And like now that Cairo is like one of the centers of culture and fashion, like, clothes seen from elsewhere are like, oh, interesting. How exotic. So that's another way of kind of highlighting that, which I found interesting.
Yeah, this is great stuff. The other thing that was interesting, I was listening to an economist podcast today, and they were talking about modern Egypt. So this is definitely not a spoiler. This is actual things happening
actual history.
In modern
Yeah.
Egypt, and the different judgments handed down for foreigners versus natives about whether you can have strangers visit your house, etc. And one of the things they brought up was how doormen play a part in illicit trysts. And if you can get the doorman on your side, then you can maybe have a visitor that would be otherwise looked down upon or get you in trouble, get you maybe even in serious trouble. And I was like, oh, I know about the whole doorman thing from Master of Djinn. I mean, obviously it's back then and it's fantasy versus now and real, but I was like, oh, that's still a thing in Egypt with the doorman.
Yeah,
that's
when they're like worried what the doorman thinks and like feel like they have to like get around him.
Yeah, you got to get the doorman on your side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of true in other places that have doormen.
Oh, for sure.
That's a function of it. But just the fact that story was about Egypt and we're reading the story set in Egypt, I thought was interesting.
We also have a post from Austin on the setting. He said that this was a fast read for me. It was gripping and a little pulpy, though that's not derogatory in the way that he's putting it here, he says. The setting is fascinating for me, partly because I feel that it's a completely underrepresented setting in other books I've read. Did anyone else find that the setting is a major part of this book's charm? Without it, I find that it's a standard but fun action romp with some light detective stuff peppered throughout. Certainly fine, but I'll be remembering this book for years because of the setting. And he says, maybe setting is too vague of a word to describe what's intriguing to me. It encompasses so much in my eyes. The characters' backgrounds, culture, religion, the regional history, and of course the architecture and physical space that the story takes place in. So he goes on to say, do I just have a giant blind spot here? Can anyone recommend any other speculative fiction books in a Middle Eastern setting? Rick says City of Brass, which we read.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the Daughter
Alicia
of Smoke and Bone.
G. Willow Wilson. We did that. That was recommended by Trike.
Yeah, was Daughter of Smoke and Bone the one I'm thinking of that had the angels and the demons? Or is that a similarly titled... Let me look it up.
Saladin Ahmed, we've also read Throne of the Crescent Moon.
We didn't... Oh, you read that. I didn't read that.
Oh, we interviewed him.
I don't think we read it ever. Yeah.
How did we not? We read G. Willow Wilson, though, right? I'm remembering that right.
Yeah. Did we? Did we?
Yeah,
Quick,
we did.
check
Elite
to the
Unseen,
wiki.
we read it October 2014. Oh, I have the wiki open now. It's now a permanent
Just
part
permanently,
of my show.
like it's part of your
Yeah.
show prep is just have the wiki open. Perfect. Yeah, and it
There
was
was
the book I was thinking of was Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Leonie Taylor, which we didn't read, but I read for Vaginal Fantasy, I think, and it was incredible. I loved it.
I'm trying to figure out a book, and this is not one we read for the show. It was an alternate history where the Islamic Empire did not recede. And it was set with basically flipping the script. So you had Islam dominating Europe, and you had Christian countries on the fringe, and there were Christian extremists and all of that. Basically, it was just telling a modern story, but flipping the script.
Oh,
On who's in power.
Oh, I do remember talking about that or hearing about that. Oh, someone's got to know. Someone tweet at us tomorrow and let us know what that is. That'd be an interesting one. Was that alternate history, or was it?
Yes,
speculative?
It was alternate
history. Okay, cool.
But it was kind of set present-ish.
Yeah.
Some of their tech was a little farther behind. Some of it was farther ahead. You know, they just kind of split the difference. I'm scrolling through my Kindle library, but man, I have a lot of...
You read a lot.
I have a lot of things in my library. Mm-hmm. Turns out.
Well, that kind of... Yeah, I'm enjoying the book so far. I know you finished. You finished quickly.
Yeah, I ate it up.
Yeah.
I found reasons to read this one. It was really fun.
I'm enjoying it a lot. Though my problem was that I went and read the after I think it was Jenny or Terp Kristen who was talking about the prequel, not the prequel, the novellas that came first. I read 3 out of 4 of them. The one that I downloaded from Tor.com that was available on Tor is the one I need to read still. I just sent it to my Kindle yesterday. But because of that, I'm behind. I'm only like 45% of the way through. So I was actually a little worried I'm not going to finish it in time. I have to dedicate some reading hours this weekend, with my copious amounts of non-screaming baby time. But it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Mirage by Matt Ruff.
Ooh. Nice. Good find.
That's the book with the alternate history.
Very cool. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think the characters are great. I love the world building. So interesting to learn about the other older religions that are kind of, creeping up and finding some a good amount of followers in this world too.
Yeah.
So I am enjoying
probably
it.
Going back to the thread about the setting, a lot of it has to do with the fact that it is just, I mean, there are a lot of books written in languages that don't get translated, so you may not have access to them if you only can read in English, which that's a lot of us can't only read in English, and so yeah, you may not have been exposed to enough of these, in which case the setting is going to be fascinating, because what Clark does is a great job of telling a modern story with just a whole different set of assumptions. Not even assumptions isn't even the right word. Just a whole different set of norms.
I've actually been using the Wikipedia and dictionary tools on Kindle a lot, because there's a lot of words that they use in the book that I'm not familiar with, because they're not part of my day-to-day life and language, and
that's how you learn. That's great.
Yeah, that's how you learn. So that's been cool. And that's one good reason why I like to read on Kindle. So I can just stop and highlight things and get some background. Cool, but that kind of wraps up this episode. Like I said, we'll finish off this book on the next episode. Sorry if you were expecting a wrap up this week. I'm a little behind. It's one of those awkward dates where we're not quite at the end of the month.
It's a little on the early side.
It's a hair early. Yeah. So I get it.
We're not even to the deadline for picking the book for the next month. So
okay,
that's a good indicator that we're early.
Though Tom has picked, which is as of tonight, we have landed on one. So we'll share that out soon to the patrons.
Yeah, the 22nd is when I have my task for Write the Book Briefing.
Excellent.
But now I will have to do it tomorrow.
Why? Wait, why tomorrow?
Well, because we just told everybody that I picked it, so I feel like I should do it tomorrow.
Oh, I mean, I guess. Only if
Actually,
you have time.
I'll have
It's
time.
fine.
I'll have time. I'll get it.
They still have plenty of time. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening. Our show is currently entirely funded by you, our patrons. Thank you so much to the show. Thank you so much to the show. Thank you so much to the folks who back our show. If you want to help support us, you can head over to patreon.com/swordandlaser.
You can also support the show by buying books through our links. You can find links to the books we talk about and some of our favorites at swordandlaser.com/picks.
Send us an email, feedback@swordandlaser.com. We are on Instagram and Twitter. If you have comments you want to send to us there, the handle is @swordandlaser. And of course, all of our discussions happen over on goodreads.com/swordandlaser and Discord. So you can chat with us there in either places. If you like forums, if you like live chat, we got it all. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I will stop the recording.
All right. We are still doing our thing. So you haven't left
Not leave the studio.
Don't leave the studio. You didn't last time, though, so I don't even understand why that happened. Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm going to open.
They never got back to me after I told them, like, yeah, I did that. Here's what I found. Blank. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, guess we messed up. Can't help
we
you
don't
there.
know how to fix that. Sounds like a problem.
Fix nothing. Yeah. All right. Signing into. What should we title this show? Cultural appreciation?
Suggestion? Oh, cultural appreciation. I like that.
That's the other term that people are saying now. Like you mentioned how like cultural appropriation gets overused a lot. Mm-hmm. And there's a movement to say like, yeah, cultural appropriation definitely exists, but a lot of the things that people like scream about for cultural appropriation is actual cultural appreciation. And so there's like, yeah, that's kind of one of the
I had a good talk
terms.
with a friend of mine about this when I was in Austin 2 weekends ago, and he wanted to have a Cinco de Mayo party, and he's like, but I want to. He's like, I kind of want to just go to the Mexican embassy and get a note that says that's okay. We want you to celebrate our culture, as long as you're not mocking it,
right?
Like, because there's certainly cultural appropriation. I'm not trying to deny that, but not everything is cultural appropriation. So,
right.
Yeah,
can you see that I'm screen sharing?
I can.
Can chat room see that I'm screen sharing?
If you can see it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good. It's working this time.
Make some
noise, but we can't actually hear your noise.
Make some
type in the chat room.
All right.
Make some caps.
Let's see.
Because that's noise.
Okay. Let's do maybe. Yeah, I'll do a picture of Egypt. Oh, nice. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, but I like this. This has a lot of space.
Because I'm in the stars tonight.
How was your trip to Vegas?
Vegas, baby. It was good.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah. It was weird because the venue we went to required you to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. The airline, of course, required you to wear a mask.
Not of course anymore. It's gone now.
Yeah. It was before the mandate was dropped. And same sort of situation, the Ubers and taxis wanted you to wear a mask. And then there were just a lot of people wearing masks in the casino even.
Oh, that's
not everybody.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
But just people who were, deciding that they wanted to protect you, or maybe they felt, a little uncomfortable. And so, we had the weekend. It was all great. When we got back to LA, I was like, man, I feel like way more people are wearing masks in Vegas than Los Angeles.
So interesting.
Because there's no mask mandate for anything in LA, except, of course, if you get on a plane. So,
right.
Grocery stores, restaurants, and stuff like that. I was like, there's a few, again, same thing, a few people wearing them because they felt it was necessary. But yeah, it was a weird flip-flop because I imagine, in my mind, Vegas is like, oh, that's the freewheeling place where, people are risky and all of that. But yeah, honestly, it felt good to be out and go into a show and eating some nice food and all that stuff.
Nice. Do we not even offer papyrus as a font? That's hilarious. Good for us.
Can you do something about that?
No,
Please?
I will not. I just wanted to see how it would look because I feel like there's very few opportunities to actually use papyrus and have it kind of make sense.
Be called for.
But no.
But Adobe is like, nope. There's no reason.
No, we pride ourselves on giving some design, guidelines, guardrails, if you will,
Yeah.
and that would definitely not support that claim. Okay, I kind of like that's interesting, I guess. I don't like the dash though, so I'm going to move that dash. I kind of like that it looks like a pyramid. Like the text.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Is it or is it stupid? I can't tell.
No,
I'm gonna
I
make
like it.
Bigger. Okay. Bigger. We got more space. Make it bigger. Someone the other day was like, "Why do you make new album art for every post?" I was like, "It's a good question."
That person was me. Yeah, when Veronica was gone, she was like, and if you want to make new album art, I was like, nope.
Nope, not going to do that.
That will not be happening.
No thanks. I'm good.
And honestly, it's not because I don't think it's worth it. I totally think it's worth it. Veronica's amazing at it. I would not be. It would take me so long to make something a third as good. So I was like,
that's
nope,
nice.
got to cut our losses where we can do it. I'm sure I would have got better at it if I'd, buckled down, but you got to know your limits,
Gotta know your limits. All right. I'm done then. That's a wrap.
Hey, that looks good. I like it.
Thanks.
I like that the screen sharing is working too, so I can
Me
see.
too. No, now we're done. All right, folks, we're going to say goodbye.
And now our watch is over.
Now our watch is through. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.